Hi guys, it's Janet Wakeland with remarkablycreated.com here with part 2 of Ribbon Class 2. I have been doing a 3-month series with my customers on ribbon tricks using ribbon on your cards, all kinds of different presentations. In the first class they received this little stand and then the rings and the initial 8 cards with techniques already on them like you see here. They also received yards of ribbon and completed cards. For Class 2, they're receiving 10 technique cards, 3 completed cards, and ribbon. And then Class 3 will be the same thing, 10 technique cards, 3 cards, and ribbon. And you can find out more details about my ribbon class at remarkablycreated.com. But let's look at 5 more ribbon techniques so that you have some ideas for using ribbon as a great embellishment on your greeting cards. So, let's start first with something very simple. This is just simply ribbon photo corners that I used here on our Peachy Keen greeting card. And so what I did was I used our framelits from the on film set to punch out, or die cut rather, excuse me, the Polaroid looking film, embossed your Peachy Keen in the center. And now what I'm going to do is, and actually I might as well just put adhesive on the whole thing while we're at it, is I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive. And I'm going to lay this so that my corner is at the just a hair smidgen below the corner of the paper. Just like that. We're going to fold it back. And then that's going to go ahead and give you your photo corner. And a lot of times we think of photo corners as something to use in scrapbooking, but it is a fun technique to add to your cards. And especially with this retro on film set, it's very reminiscent of the old photo corners that I see even in my parents' old scrapbooks to this day. And then you would just go ahead and adhere it to your card. And then just a further embellishment, we added a little camera that was embossed and die cut from the same framelit and one of our new little wooden embellishments. So that is our photo corners. Ultra simple. This one here is just showing you a way to finish off your ribbon, and that's with fishtail points on it. And to do that, there's 2 different ways that you can do it. You can simply just go ahead and freehand cut your fishtail points by pointing or cutting into the center and then making a second snip. And what's nice about that is you can make it as deep and pointy as you want it to. And then another variation or another way of doing your fishtails is to fold your ribbon in half if you're worried about getting the exact center of your ribbon, and then pointing towards the end of your ribbon, taking your scissors and pointing away, you want to go ahead and make an angled cut, and that will give you your little fishtails. And that's a nice way to finish off your ribbon and give them a different look. And so you can see it again here on the lovely card. So, another way that you have of working with ribbon, and I forgot the finished card. Oh, well, you'll have to see it on my blog. I have all of the samples up close and finished. This one was actually a really cute one that says, "You're my first mate." And let's go ahead and just do a little bit of assembly with this card. This is what I love about cardstock. It has 2 sides. I didn't like the color blue on that side, but I didn't want to waste the cardstock, so I just stamped it again. And I have a piece of red cardstock that I've cut. It's the width, it's 4 inches. It's the width of the card front that I have on it. And I have a length of our Pacific Point ribbon. And I'm going to fold that to the back. I have adhesive on here. And I don't want to stretch this tight. I want it to have a little bit of a give, because what I'm going to end up doing, and let's just go ahead and put our adhesive on, and let's layer this on here, is I'm going to take baker's twine and I'm going to tie this off. And the reason why I want a little give is that when I knot this, it's going to pucker up the blue, and that puts tension on either end. And so you want that little bit of give so that your ribbon isn't pulling up on either side. And so that's just another fun little way. And what's nice about this is it just kind of gives it a nice little look, something a little bit different, gives you a chance to pull out some of your baker's twine and use it. But now you can also hang tags and fun things off of that point right there. So that's another option for you. This one here on our Mother's Day card. Happy Mother's Day. We're getting a jump start. Boy, I'll be way ahead of the game for a change. Now I just got to remember to send it when the day comes. But we're going to do something called a folded ribbon. And so let's go ahead. This is one of our print pack paper packs. I love the color scheme in this print pack, but we kind of went with a classic red and black look. We're going to go ahead. I've embossed our Happy Mother's Day greeting in white. I'm going to lay that down. And now what we're going to do is, we can also use snail or sticky strip because of the width of this ribbon. And I'm going to work from the roll again. It's one of the things that I like to do. And I'm just going to start it at an angle, and then I'm going to use my finger to fold it down and fold it up just like that. Now again, I mentioned in previous videos that it's really hard to say cut a length of 6 inches for a 4.5 inch card, cut a length of 8 inches for a 5 inch card, because here I have a very narrow fold, but you could also, if you wanted to, let's just turn this, and you could also make this a whole lot deeper. And so it's going to be a personal choice. It's kind of like matting cards. Some people like a real wide mat, and then some people like a very narrow mat. And so it's going to be a lot of your personal aesthetics or opinion. And I'm just weaving it back and forth, making sure that I push that ribbon into the adhesive. And this is just a nice folded technique. If you're also really wanting to ensure that all of these are the same height, one of the things that you can do is work with the grid paper, and you can kind of eyeball it between 2 lines as you're going across your piece of paper. And then here I've got to the end, and so I'm going to go ahead and we'll take a glue dot, put it on the end of our ribbon, and then press it down. And then I went ahead and just made a little flower embellishment to add to this. And we'll just put a couple of glue dots on the back of it. And then there, you've just got a different look with your folded ribbon across your card. And then the 5th technique is this ruffled ribbon, just like this. And again, you can work with your grid paper, work across, whichever way works best for you. And you can work left to right or right to left. Here you can see the loops going to the right, or of course you can have them going to the other direction. It's what works best for you. And let's pull our pieces of paper out. You can work with snail or with sticky strip. We're going to use snail because it's here on the table. And this is some more of that print pack paper. We'll add this underneath. Oops. We're going to take that right up to the edge of our card. And then again, I'm going to run adhesive from side to side. We'll take our ribbon, and this is our Chevron Print Naturals ribbon. I think it looks really pretty once it's all done. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to start to do our folds. And your loops will pop up, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But again, just a reminder, I can't tell you to go ahead and cut 8 inches because you're going to decide how wide you want your ruffles to be. You may want a little bit of space in between them because you're adding some kind of embellishment. You may want them to be wider. When you work with our snail and our sticky strip, you're able to pull it back up again and reposition it. So that's really nice feature for you. But let's just go ahead and get this across. We've got it to the end. Make a straight cut here. Okay, so now I have my little loops, and now I want them to lay flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm just going to lay a glue dot down in each one of those folds. There we go. Of course, sometimes they end up on your fingers instead of where they're supposed to be. But glue dots, sticky strip, dimensionals, all kinds of adhesive are great for working with ribbon. Liquid glue, hot glue. A lot of times the type of ribbon you use or type of adhesive you use is going to be dictated by the weight of the ribbon, how thick it is, and sometimes how porous, or even if it's sheer, you don't want your adhesive to show through. Oops. So there I have my nice flat ruffled ribbon, and we can just go ahead now and add our greeting. So here in part 2 of class 2. We see our ruffled ribbon done with our chevrons. This one is going to the right and this one's going to the left. It's up to you to decide which way you want yours to go. It usually depends on whether you're left or right-handed and whether you start on the left or the right side. This is our folded ribbon. Here you can see it real deep, and here you can see just a real shallow fold, up and down, up and down. So it's up to you, again, to decide how wide or thick you want it. This is just tied off ribbon, just to kind of pucker it and gather it up a little bit. You could actually come across in a whole bunch of different spaces and gather it in a couple more if you wanted to. I just wanted the one off to the left for this card. This is just showing you an option for finishing your ribbon ends, and this is with something called fishtails. And then just a reminder that photo corners aren't just for your scrapbooking or your actual scrapbooks. It looks great on the front of your cards. So I hope you've enjoyed part 2 of class 2, and I look forward next month to sharing 10 more ribbon techniques with you in the final phase of our three-part month series. And you can find all of the details on these cards, up close pictures of them, supply list and everything at remarkablycreated.com. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day and take care. God bless.